everybody. Welcome back to the Canadian Traveler. So, in a previous video not too terribly long ago, I had posted that we are headed back to the Philippines. We had booked some tickets, and the time to travel is quickly coming upon us. In fact, it's October 30th today, and we are leaving tomorrow, October 31st. We're flying out Halloween. So I thought I'd show you some of the preparations we're taking. Some of it's already been done, some of it still has to be done. Most of the packing is completed, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do any of it. I was at work and packing was pretty much done for me. There's a couple of odds and ends that still need to be packed, but we'll go check that out. So this is pretty much everything packed here. We can't take as much on this flight for some reason. We're only allowed to have one suitcase each and a carry-on each. Traditionally, we've been allowed to have two per person, but for some reason, this trip we're only being allowed one. Something about because there's a domestic flight involved, and I don't know if it's from Edmonton to Vancouver or the domestic flight from Manila to Davao in Philippines. Traditionally, when you're doing an international flight, it's looked upon as the entire trip, as long as there's no break. There's some visitors there. As long as there's no break, you could always take the international allowance, which was 2 bags. For some reason, that's changed. I suspect it has to do with the economy, the high price of fuel, the high price of everything. So right now, that's what we're allowed. So we've had to really think about what we're packing and be a little bit creative. But we're pretty assured we've got everything we need. So that's one part of what's done. There's also other requirements, like, a year ago there was something called the One Health Pass, and it was to do with COVID, and that's changed slightly. We'll get into that. I'll go to the laptop and we'll get into that. So as of this filming, it's the end of October 30th, 2023, and I had to do a little surfing on the internet to figure out what are the requirements, the entry requirements for the Philippines. Now, if you're looking for a surefire source that's always, in my opinion, up to date, I Google entry requirements for the Philippines, and then I type Philippine Airlines. Philippine Airlines is really good about putting the most accurate, up-to-date information. So this is the information as of the end of October 2023. So let's get on the laptop. Okay, so we're gonna start by typing entry requirements for the Philippine Airlines. And we'll see what we can come up with. So right away, we got travel during COVID is the first link. I clearly didn't spell something correctly, but I won't fix it. Okay, so I'll click here, and it's going to tell me what the most current information is. So it does say they're subject to change with short notice by the issuing government authority. But we'll put in some basic information. So we're going to say easier if I just type. So we're coming from Edmonton, and our final destination, the airport code is DVO, so we'll put Davao. Now my vaccination status is I am fully vaccinated, and my travel type, now there's Filipino nationals, former Filipino nationals, so you have to pick which one fits your fits you. I'm a foreign national from a visa-free country. So I'll click on that, and we'll click search. Now, I'm allowed to enter this destination if I meet the requirements below. So a fully vaccinated foreign traveler is, I do not require proof of vaccination. I do not have to go to a facility-based quarantine. I do not have to home quarantine. However, government requirements requires an e-registration. This replaces the One Health Pass that was around a year ago. So we'll just check the rest. I don't need any medical certification. I don't need any mobile application. This is a common for most countries in the world. A valid period of at least 6 months on your passport is a requirement. No requirement for a COVID-19 test, travel insurance. I do need a return ticket. That's a standard requirement of the Philippines. And for ACR card holders, except 9A visa holders, passengers must present the following. None of that applies to me. So we're going to go back up to the top, and we're going to click on e-travel registration. It's very simple. I'm not going to lie, I've already done this, but we're going to go through it a little bit just so you can see. So I'm a foreign passport holder, and there's a pull-down menu here, or I could just type in the start and it'll pull it up for me. So I'm Canadian. My travel type, I'm entering the Philippines. And my transportation type is by air. And the date of my arrival, so I'm leaving on the 31st of October, but because of the international timeline, I won't actually be arriving until November the 2nd. So I'll put that here. So 11/02/2023. Then here is where I put my email address. Continue. The whole thing is pretty simple. I'm not going to continue here. I think there was only 2 questions in regards to COVID. One was that if you've been exposed to it in the last 30 days, and I think the other was that if you've been sick in the last 30 days. Other than that, it's just questions about your address in the country you live in. It wants to know the address of where you're going in the Philippines, contact information, things like that. So that's what that is. Now, with all the unrest in the world, I also wanted to register with Canadian Foreign Affairs. And this is for people traveling abroad, and it's, so here it is here, registration of Canadians abroad. It's kind of similar to the e-travel website I just did, but there's an online registration here. It's very simple. It just wants to know some basic information. So, you know, you've got to read this. Final one is I'm a Canadian citizen. I put yes. We accept it. And then we go into the information. So it wants to know last name, first name, birth date, preferred language. English and French, I think, are the only 2 options here, since those are the 2 official languages of Canada. Your gender, whether you're a male, female, or another gender. Which country you're going to, which region. Now, in the Philippines, I couldn't put in a specific region. I did have to put in my address of where I'm going there. Date of arrival, date of departure. If you don't know your departure date, there is an option here to click on. If you'll be traveling to other countries, wait, it just really likes that button. There we go. And are other people traveling with me? Contact information for in the country and contact information for in case of an emergency. That's pretty much all there is to that. This way, if there's a problem, a civil problem, a natural problem, you know, like a typhoon hits, whatever, the Canadian government will know where I am. I'm sure other countries like the United States probably has a similar type thing in place, so that, you know, the country is able to find you and get you out of there if that's a necessary thing. So yeah, that's what I've done there. So yeah, that's the information that's current as of the end of October 2023. This information changes a lot. I shouldn't say a lot, but for example, a year ago, it was a completely different system. So you got to be, kind of knowledgeable when you're looking for the information, or I guess what I'm trying to say, don't assume that what you did last year or even 6 months ago is going to be the same as today. So I find the best, go to Philippine Airlines. They do generally have the most updated. If not, Google the Philippine Health Authority, or I'm not sure which other department of, I'm not sure who, trying to think who'd Foreign Affairs maybe, something like that. They'll have the information. It's just really important. So when all was said and done, I was emailed not a barcode. What do they call those little square codes? That needs to be shown when I get to Manila, but it also suggested it may be required before I even board the plane in Vancouver. So I have it on my phone. It's important to get this done up to 72 hours before you fly. And once you have that and it's good to go, you're ready to travel. And yeah, so join us as we finish this up. We actually get on the plane and we head to the Philippines. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having more video fun with you and showing you more of what we're up to.